Hello everyone, this is Science and you're watching the audiovisual chapter of class 11th biology. This is the first part of chapter 21, neural control and coordination. As you know, the functions of organ system in our body must be coordinated to maintain homeostasis. Coordination is the process through which two or more organs interact and complement the functions of one another. For example, when we do physical exercises, the energy demand is increased for maintaining an increased muscular activity. The supply of oxygen is also increased. The increased supply of oxygen necessitates an increase in the rate of respiration, heartbeat, and increased blood flow via blood vessels. When physical exercise is stopped, the activities of nerves, lungs, heart, and kidney gradually return to their normal conditions. Thus, the functions of muscles, lungs, heart, blood vessels, kidney, and other organs are coordinated while performing physical exercises. In our body, the neural system and the endocrine system jointly coordinate and integrate all the activities of the organs so that they function in a synchronized fashion. The neural system provides an organized network of point-to-point connections for a quick coordination. The endocrine system provides chemical integration through hormones. In this chapter, you will learn about the neural system of human, mechanisms of neural coordination like transmission of nerve impulse conduction across a synapse, and the physiology of the reflex action. Neural system. The neural system of all animals is composed of highly specialized cells called neurons, which can detect, receive, and transmit different types of stimuli. The neural organization is very simple in lower invertebrates. For example, in Hydra, it is composed of a network of neurons. The neural system is better organized in insects, where a brain is present along with the number of ganglia and neural tissues. The vertebrates have a more developed neural system. Human neural system. The human neural system is divided into two parts. First is central neural system, CNS, and second is peripheral neural system. The CNS includes the brain and spinal cord and is the site of information processing and control. The PNS comprises of all the nerves of the body associated with the CNS, brain and spinal cord. The nerve fibers of the PNS are of two types, afferent fibers and efferent fibers. The afferent nerve fibers transmit impulses from the tissue or organs to the CNS, and the efferent fibers transmit regulatory impulses from the CNS to the concerned peripheral tissue or organs. The PNS is divided into two divisions called somatic neural system and autonomic neural system. The somatic neural system relays impulses from the CNS to skeletal muscles, while the autonomic neural system transmits impulses from the CNS to the involuntary organs and smooth muscles of the body. The autonomic neural system is further classified into sympathetic neural system and parasympathetic neural system. Visceral nervous system is the part of the peripheral nervous system that comprises the whole complex of nerves, fibers, ganglia, and plexuses by which impulses travel from the central nervous system to the viscera and from the viscera to the central nervous system. Neuron as structural and functional unit of neural system. A neuron is a microscopic structure composed of the three major parts, namely cell body, dendrites, and axon. The cell body contains cytoplasm with typical cell organelles and certain granular bodies called Nissls granules. Short fibers which branch repeatedly and project out of the cell body, also called Nissls granules, and are called dendrites. These fibers transmit impulses towards the cell body. The axon is a long fiber, the distal end of which is branched. Each branch terminates as a bulb-like structure called synaptic knob, which possesses synaptic vesicles containing chemicals called neurotransmitters. The axons transmit nerve impulses away from the cell body to a synapse or to a neuromuscular junction. Based on the number of axon and dendrites, the neuron are divided into three types. First, multipolar, with one axon and two or more dendrites found in the cerebral cortex. Bipolar, with one axon and one dendrite found in the retina of the eye. And unipolar, cell body with one axon only, found usually in the embryonic stage. There are two types of axons, namely myelinated or non-myelinated. The myelinated nerve fibers are enveloped with Schwann cells which form a myelin sheath around the axon. The gap between two adjacent myelin sheaths are called nodes of Ranvier. Myelinated nerve fibers are found in spinal and cranial nerves. Unmyelinated nerve fiber is enclosed by a Schwann cells that does not form a myelin sheath around the axon and is commonly found in the autonomous and somatic neural system. Now, generation and conduction of nerve impulse. Neurons are excitable cells because their membranes are in a polarized state. Do you know why the membrane of the neuron is polarized? Different type of ion channels are present on the neural membrane. These ion channels are selectively permeable to different ions. When a neuron is not conducting any impulse, that is, resting, the axonal membrane is comparatively more permeable to potassium ions and nearly impermeable to the sodium ions. Similarly, the membrane is impermeable to negatively charged proteins present in the exoplasm. Consequently, the exoplasm inside the axon contains high concentration of K plus and negatively charged proteins and low concentration of a sodium. In contrast, the fluid outside the axon contains a low concentration of K plus, a high concentration of Na plus, and thus form a concentration gradient. These ionic gradients across the resting membrane are maintained by the active transport of ions by the sodium-potassium pump, which transports 3 sodium outwards for 2 K plus in the cell. As a result, the outer surface of the axonal membrane possesses a positive charge, while its inner surface becomes negatively charged and therefore is polarized. The electrical potential difference across the resting plasma membrane is called as resting potential. You might be curious to know about the mechanisms of generation of nerve impulse and its conduction along an axon. When a stimulus is applied at a site on the polarized membrane, the membrane at the site A becomes freely permeable to sodium ions. This leads to a rapid influx of the sodium ion followed by the reversal of the polarity at that site. That is, the outer surface of the membrane becomes negatively charged and the inner side becomes positively charged. The polarity of the membrane at the site A is thus reversed and hence depolarized. The electrical potential difference across the plasma membrane at the site A is called the action potential, which is in fact termed as a nerve impulse. At sites immediately ahead the axon, example site B, membrane has a positive charge on the outer surface and a negative charge on its inner surface. As a result, the current flows from on the inner surface from site A to B. On the outer surface, current flows from site B to A. To complete the circuit of a current flow, hence the polarity at the site is reversed, an action potential is generated at site B. Thus, the impulse or the action potential generated at site A arrives at site B. The sequence is repeated along the length of the axon and consequently the impulse is conducted. The rise in the stimulus-induced permeability to sodium ions is extremely short-lived. It is quickly followed by a rise in permeability of K plus within a fraction of a second, and K plus diffuses outside the membrane and restores the resting potential of the membrane at the site of excitation, and the fibers becomes once more responsive to further stimulation. Now, transmission of impulses. A nerve impulse is transmitted from one neuron to another through junctions called synapses. A synapse is formed by the membrane of a presynaptic neuron and a postsynaptic neuron. which may or may not be separated by a gap called synaptic cleft. There are two types of synapses, namely electrical synapses and chemical synapses. At electrical synapses, the membrane of pre and postsynaptic neurons are in very close proximity. Electrical current can flow directly from one neuron to the other across these synapses. Transmission of an impulse across electrical synapses is very similar to impulse conduction along a single axon. Impulse transmission across electrical synapses always faster than that across a chemical synapse. Electrical synapses are rare in our system. At a chemical synapse, the membrane of the pre and postsynaptic neurons are separated by a fluid-filled space called synaptic cleft. Do you know how the presynaptic neuron transmits an impulse across the synaptic cleft to the postsynaptic neurons? Chemicals called neurotransmitters are involved in the transmission of impulses at these synapses. The axon terminals contain vesicles filled with these neurotransmitters. When an impulse or action potential arrives at the axon terminal, it stimulates the movement of the synaptic vesicles towards the membrane where they fuse with the plasma membrane and release their neurotransmitters in the synaptic cleft. The released neurotransmitter bind to their specific receptors present on the postsynaptic membrane. This binding opens ion channels, allowing the entry of ions, which can generate a new potential in the postsynaptic neuron. The new potential developed may be either excitatory or inhibitory. Now here we end the first part of the chapter 21, Neural Control and Coordination, class 11th Biology. To watch more such videos, do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any video. And if you want us to create more such videos on any other book or subject, do mention in the comment section please. And like and share the video to keep us motivated to create such content. Thank you for watching the video. Bye bye. Love.